Okay, I'm going to open up the Redevelopment Authority meeting for September 18th, 2018 at 6:01. Thank you all for coming. First on the agenda is Forest Street update. In our last meeting, we had a discussion on what we were going to do for appraisals, stuff like that. I asked Stephen if he might be able to follow up with them because they're in town. If they were going to give us an estimate on the appraisal for Forest Street or what have you. So that's where we stand there. So Steve, by any chance, did they get anything to you on that?
I haven't received anything as yet. I can follow up
Okay.
again.
Great. So on that note, after we get an idea of what the appraisals will be, we need to bring it back here and
Right.
get it out there and follow that process so we can get it back online for disposal. I think that's our goal. Anybody got anything else about Forest Street? No? Okay, moving on. Number 2, chairman update. I'm glad Michael's here and also Stephen. The URP update, I'll let you guys know. I know that Joanna and Sharon was out at the site visit that we had. I did have made a phone call to Bob. I didn't have your number, otherwise I would have called you. I apologize that the email didn't go out to everybody. That's on me. But we did have a visit out with the developer, the preferred developer out on site. It was, I thought it was very good. They did say where there was a snafu, anytime we want to reschedule to go out there, they'll meet with one person and they'll meet with the whole board. They are amenable to that to let us know.
I've been out there twice with conservation, so I'm familiar with it.
Yeah,
I've done some.
I still owe you the apologies.
Right, well.
You know, so the a lot of the good stuff that's happened out there, I'm sure that you've seen it with Concom, but I know that Bob, I don't know if you've been out there yet or not, and I highly encourage that we go back out there. The amount of progress that they've made on the site, on the cleanup, bringing in the fill and stuff like that. It was very informative, I think, on where their steps are with the MEPA process and the environmental impact study. I think that was good. You saw that that's available for people to read. I believe you sent that out, the link out to us, Stephen. Thank you very much for people to go through that environmental impact study. The key to that was the comments, public comments. Those closed. We didn't have them on site. They didn't have the ability to give us any of those, but they were more than willing to put that together so that way we would have information on that. One of the follow-ups in a nutshell, just to narrow it down real short, I asked them that after all that's done, after they've gotten a little bit further down the process, to be able to come into our meeting, have a meeting solely on that, and have a discussion on what all this means. Get more familiar with it, understanding where they're standing with the site, where the next processes are, and they're willing to do that. And then, maybe talk with Stephen about it, maybe having a joint meeting with the Board of Selectmen for that type of informational thing, because the Board of Selectmen were the governing authority to move this forward. So I think that will be informative for the public and also for them to keep them up to breast. I don't know if you had any comments on that, Mike. You good? Stephen, you have anything on that?
No, but that's pretty succinct.
Mr. Chairman, I
Yes.
just brought back, I went to that site that Serpent was at. I just wanted the committee to, we had that girl, Deborah Bevan, she came. And they were talking about this, I didn't have the information when we were at last site, but economic development specialist. I think she's federal. I don't think
Yeah.
it was Mass Works,
No.
which they were talking about.
She was brought out by, just for clarification, Don Sullivan works for Southeastern Regional Planning
Right.
and Development.
And then she
He's
strongly
on that.
suggested that a proposal be drawn up. I just wanted to, we have new members, and I
Yep.
just thought it would be
I
good
think
if
that's a
you
good
allow
idea.
me to pass it out. I'd gladly pass it out.
Absolutely, great information for
Here, guys, ladies, help yourself. This is a copy for Stephen and the secretary as well as yourself.
Yep.
I made 7, so.
So a brief description, I think that's important, you guys can go through that. Donnie Sullivan's our rep from Serpent, he's been involved with this process. Deborah Bevan from Economic Development from the state came out, invited out there. We walked the site, we talked about the site quite a bit. And she is a lady that would have avenues towards federal monies for infrastructure and improvements on the roadways and everything. I know that the town planner and also the town itself, and I don't want to overspeak, Michael's been working with them on that aspect with the preferred developer. Don't know where it stands, but it was a great meeting that we had back then. It was a while ago. So
Yeah, and if you-
it's good information for our new members to
Right.
kind of bring you guys.
Mr.
up
Chairman,
to
if
speed.
you allow me, the
Yep.
last line, actually, if you turn it over, that's really where I'm not gonna be. It says Deborah stated that the grant could be between 1 and 2 million. I thought that was important. Deborah strongly suggested that a proposal be drawn up on the Economic Development website and submitted as soon as possible. Competition starts with a begin of submission of a proposal, and this would be for the Northeast. So I'm not sure where it stands, Mr. Chairman, but
I'm gonna defer over
Yeah,
to
to-
our planner.
Yeah.
I don't know if you have anything on that.
it's the last couple of statements, and then flip it over, it just as, kind of briefs it up.
It was,
So I think it's federal, it's not state.
I think that was before Steve.
It was a little before me, but I do recall also when we were on our site visit, Mr. Chairman, that the discussion of grants did come up, and they did indicate that the development team indicated that they just weren't at that point yet. So my sense is that they will be soon, and I have been working with Serpent periodically. Dawn has been reminding me that this money is available, so when they get to that point, I'm sure that we'll be aware of that and lend a hand in making sure that we secure some additional funding opportunities.
Bob?
Hi, I wasn't at the site visit, and I understand it was a communication error. Personally, I think you shouldn't have had a site visit like that, for a number of different reasons. Right one, there was no posting on our website of a site visit,
I believe it was posted.
because I didn't see anything on the town.
I reaffirm that it was a posted thing, it's just that the email didn't go out.
And there was no deliberations, correct?
Correct.
Well,
Right.
actually, it's not deliberations, it's discussions.
It was an
You should know
update.
that.
It was an update.
Right, but site visits are clear that you can't discuss anything. They can walk you around, this is here, this is here, this is here, this is here. But you've already said there was discussions of grants. All right, you talked about the MEPA
There was
process
not a discussion, there was a statement.
amongst a quorum of members,
Which there was a posted site visit.
okay?
We're gathering information.
Not everyone was there for this, okay?
The
I don't think
posting
it
said
shouldn't have.
new, for new member,
Yeah.
a new member site walkthrough.
Yeah.
But I was never notified of it.
Well, there was a
And-
posting, the email didn't go out. I called you on that.
Right.
I mean, granted, it was the last minute thing, but I did try to reach out to you. But that's fine.
Right.
You're not happy the way that it went. I understand that, and I agree with you on that. So.
Okay, I just, like I said,
It's
if
fine.
that happens again, all right, then you shouldn't have the site visit, you should, if not all the members can be there, and there's a difference between, I can't be there because I'm sick or something like that, that's a different.
But if there's a quorum,
communication,
all right. So just to be clear, that if there's a quorum of members that of a posting that we were going to have a site visit, and a quorum shows up, we have all the ability to have a meeting, and we can gather information and bring it back to the board members. I don't. You just didn't want to
What
have the. You're not happy that we didn't have the meeting, and every single board member wasn't there. I got that.
yeah, I mean, I wish
we
I
had a
could have been
quorum.
there, like I said, I would have made it, had I known. But what date,
Perfectly understandable.
right, what date was that, site visit?
What was last?
It was the 11th.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Because I'm looking right here at the town on the 11th, here. And September
I sent-
11th,
I saw it under meeting minutes and agendas.
I'm looking under here for our boards, department, committees.
I saw it
And
under
it's
the,
not-
I saw
Okay.
it under
It's not
town
there.
minutes
I
and
know that,
agendas.
I know that
Because I sent Joanna,
reaffirmed
when
it
I was talking
there,
to
so-
Joanna about it.
Anyways, move on.
So,
Well,
just,
Yeah, but I think to Will's point, though, that if you have a quorum, if the meeting is posted and you have a quorum, that's enough for a discussion. You don't need full attendance.
no. At site visit, you're not supposed to discuss anything.
There was, you're gathering information.
I
Right,
thought,
you're there to
You can
gather
gather
information, but you're not
information.
supposed to ask questions or anything.
how do you
because it's
gather
not open.
how do you gather information
Okay.
without asking questions?
The person that's walking you around can say, this is this, 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 all right? But you can't turn around and say, okay, well, if that's there, okay, how big is that gonna be? Okay, all right, or is it gonna be there, or is the doors gonna be here, or whatnot? You're supposed to get all your notes from that site visit, bring it back to the meeting where it's a public quorum, because if you have discussions and it's a site visit, then it has to be open to the public. It has to be handicapped accessible, all right? These things that have to be done if it's a site visit.
All right, I'm not
Okay.
gonna dwell on this thing.
So I'm just-
If this is the way it went down, if you're not happy with it, Bob, feel free to take it to a different level. I'm fully aware of what the open meeting law states and about a quorum. We had a quorum, we had information that was given to us, we brought it back to this board, I gave the update to the board, I'm good. So, you wanna dwell on it?
No,
take it-
I'm just, like I
take
said,
it somewhere
I'm making
else.
it, I'm making a point of saying, site visits under the open meeting law are clear, you can't have discussions, whether it's posted or not, unless you open it up to the public to
I've
come up.
probably been in the 14 years in public office, probably to maybe 80 site visits. Not any one of them has been the same as the one that would be tomorrow. They're all different.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
If I may, I'm on the mass.gov website presently.
Mhm.
Maura Healy had updated the open meeting law as recently as 2017. Page 4 of that document, it says explicitly, what are the exceptions to the definition of a meeting? The very first incident that is exempted from an open meeting is members of a public body may conduct an on-site inspection of a project or program, however, they may not deliberate, which we did not, at such gatherings. Most of the information was shared to us by the developer.
Yep.
So
That's what I'm-
Open meeting law.
Okay,
Does
but it also
sense.
with the posting has to be done a certain way, too. It's supposed to say that this is what we're doing for a site visit.
Oh.
And it's,
Check with the town clerk, because I know the posting was done, so.
okay.
Okay, moving on. Thank you. You good with everything else, Bob? Otherwise,
I'm
just
fine.
jump into
Go right ahead.
Okay. Second thing on the agenda is Robert's Way demo of the building. I do not know the status of that, and I would ask the status from Mike. Do you have a status on that? Last thing that we had for information for the public and also for here for an update is that request was sent upstairs and it was in the works with the building, building and grounds. And they were in the process of finishing up with the school and stuff, so I don't know what the status of that was. I was not able to get with John or with
Things seem to-
Mr. Dave Seaton.
Has Eversource disconnected it? Because
I
that was
don't know
another
that.
thing we were waiting for.
Don't know that.
Okay, because I thought that was part of what we were waiting for as well.
So the building is in process of going through the procedures to have the building demolished, which includes disconnecting the utilities and then filing for the appropriate permits, which the Operation and Maintenance Department have this on their schedule to do. Clearly, they're building a new elementary school, a new ball field, finishing up on a middle high school, and they do have it built into the work schedule. When it gets done, it'll get done.
Okay.
Well,
Yes.
you are correct. It's under the RDA, under agenda. and it was posted correctly there. It just wasn't on the,
Where we at?
I'm sorry, going back to
Oh, the URP?
the URP. I'm saying you are correct. It was posted on that, but it didn't get filtered out to the main calendar for the town. That's what I go by, is the main calendar on the website.
I don't regulate that, so
I know that, and I'll talk to them next door,
Yeah.
and,
that's right.
all right, there may have been a snafu there,
Okay,
Yeah.
okay? You guys were right.
yep, no worries. Next on the agenda is Robert's Way. We request to meet with the TOPS committee. We sent a formal letter up the chain, up to the selectman's office to meet with the TOPS committee. I do not believe that there is an agenda as of yet for them to schedule a meeting. When it comes down to us, then we'll meet with them. I don't have any other information other than that. So, that's still in process. Everybody okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Now,
Yes, sir.
with Robert's Way,
Yep,
I know
We
you guys visited it,
We did.
okay? I just want to make sure that we have to be careful for email communication between people, that email between a quorum of members. We can't be doing that, all right? So if I send an email to you and then you send an email to you or to you, when you have three, it's a quorum. We have to be really diligent on that. If two of us want to communicate about something, that's fine. That's not a quorum. But once you hit that third person, we can get some trouble there.
Yeah, we
Okay.
personally, we did a site visit, we didn't email.
Right,
And we called.
yeah.
We call, yeah,
Well, that's still, I mean, if something was said between, from me to you to her, or whatnot, we have to be really careful on
I
that.
got
So
you.
I just want to make sure that everyone knows. Yeah, okay? That's it. I'm good.
thanks, Bob.
Thank you.
All right, moving on. Members' comments. Update for outstanding monies owed to the town. Joanna,
yeah, I got paperwork, I'm
No way.
passing out.
that's a good thing. Reason why we had the agenda.
Each one of you, there's paperwork here for everyone. Oh, wait a minute, that's the outstanding money. When you get that paperwork, you're gonna get this paperwork though. There's another, this is the outstanding one. The other one here, pass this out. The outstanding money is, I had a conversation, do we have enough? I have an extra here for
Yeah,
some reason.
we're good.
I had conversation with Mike, and way on the top of that email, I had asked Mike when I could put it on the calendar for, for the RDA to ensure the two amounts of the town budget happens before we go to town meeting, and Mike answered, way on the top, budget requests go out in September. We are in September. If you turn to the pages here that I stapled together, one is 4,000 and one is 4,700. So we're looking for a reimbursement of 8,700. Mr. Chairman, maybe Mike could tell us where he is with that, I'm not sure.
Sure. Mr. Mike, just an update?
Sure,
Of
so
the
right
proper
now,
process for us?
we're in our four-step budget process, and any and all departments, committees, and organizations need to submit their budgets into the selectman's office. And so we do have this request in.
You do? Okay,
Yep.
good, thank you.
So we do have this, and following the four-step budget process, there'll be a balanced budget that'll be submitted. And that'll go to the Board of Selectmen, the Finance Committee, just as it does for those four steps. And eventually the town meeting for its final approval. My guess is that these funds right here will not come out of operating, they'll probably come out of free cash.
Okay.
Is there any other process that we have to do other than what's already taken place? We've already did our check on that.
You've done your check, I think if there is any questions, then, since this happened about 5 years ago or something like that, someone's just gonna have to regurgitate the history of this.
Sure. More than happy to.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Now, isn't it the beginning of the town meeting when you have bills that we have to pay, that we haven't paid yet at the front end of our town meeting? We used to have to pay certain things to town meeting, right? Isn't that what happens?
Yes, that's an article,
Right.
yes.
Yeah. Why doesn't ours, because if we're owed that money, instead of going through the budgeting process, we know it needs to be paid to us. why don't we just get put on that top part, that money is
Because it's
needed?
not an outstanding bill.
Well, we have, it was money that we're owed, though.
It's not an outstanding bill of the vendor.
Can we send them a bill?
I don't know. Not that I'm aware of,
It
but.
was,
Alright.
just for clarification, it was a joint effort put forth on the Redevelopment Authority to reinvest some of the money towards a future school project that was in for plans and stuff like that.
Right.
We were asked if we could put that monies up for that, to get that done, so that's what we did. We partnered with the town to do that, on the knowing that we would get it back at the town meeting when they finalized the school, so.
Because I think, didn't we pay $5,000 2
Yes.
years ago?
You did.
Yeah.
Just wanna make sure we get on that.
Yeah, well, I'm on it.
Wow.
Okay, so
Should it
that's
be its
good.
own article? Should it be its own article? Is it a- or-
It's up to the selectmen to do those, I mean.
Yeah.
Those are free cash.
Okay. all right.
Okay, so moving on. Update of line of credit for Rockland.
All right, I passed that out. We got some information back. I don't have to read the whole thing. I mean, the first paragraph says, "We're pleased to inform you that Rockland Trust, the bank, has agreed to renew the above referenced line of credit to April 30th, 2019, the extended credit expiration date, which means we're good to go. If we want to borrow money, no problem. Interest is raised up a little bit. But I will be asking Valerie Barassi to work with me again come the new year to update and get our financial picture. Try to have all that done and up and running before that, so
Good,
that's that.
excellent. Okay, next on our agenda is discussion on other projects. This was a request, I believe, from Joanna to me to have an open discussion from board members on potential of other projects, and I'm gonna open it up to you to,
Well, I wanted to kind of take off with Bob said, but I know we've been focused on the URP as being our main project here, and I know we're kind of waiting for the team, McLaughlin and company, to finish with their MEPR and so forth and so on. I personally, well, I'm on the local housing project, partnership, excuse me, and I know that Bob was very interested in affordable homes and so forth, and did a lot of research, and Sharon and I went out there to look at that piece of property. But I'd like to start up the local housing partnership again. It's been almost 2014, over 4 years since we've done that. I think that it would be good to have a partnership and to start working with the redevelopment for what you can do. Sharon had an idea and it struck me. She said, you know, we should have a 5-year plan. We don't have one. And I said to Sharon, you know, that's a good idea. I think
5-year plan, or more specific.
strategies on what we're trying to do, where we're gonna go, and so forth and so on. So that something like what Bob wants to do, something like what I wanna do, gets part and parcel of a plan, and so forth, so. I'm not sure how that's gonna go over, but I got this out of the master plan, and it says the Carver redevelopment can work with other town partners to identify tax title properties and prioritize them for uses including potential affordable housing sites. The town can dispose of such property through a negotiated sale or an RFP, which allows more ability to control future use of the property, including designating the property for creation of affordable housing. I'm very interested in this report. I haven't got it yet, but it's called Back on the Roll. Maybe you have that, I don't know. Back on the Roll in Massachusetts. It's a report on strategies to return tax title properties to productive use, produced by the Citizens Housing and Planning Association. May be a resource. I'm an auctioneer, I do affordable housing. So, guess what? That's my point, is if we could even talk about that at some point. And, I don't know, I'm interested in it. Now that we have a town planner, Stephen Cole, I'll be knocking on his door.
Have you guys reestablished the local housing partnership?
Not yet, but I have to ask Mr. Milanowski.
At another time?
I can and I will.
I'm just
because-
asking.
No, because he offered that he was gonna put something in the budget. Remember that? And he offered, and I thought it was excellent, that he offered that he could put something in the budget in the way of maybe 20,000 for a consultant. That consultant would help us on the local housing partnership with strategies and so forth, and then be working with Stephen and helping us go forward. And that's really what we need to get going. I have all the people, I got them all. They're all willing to come back and work,
Good. It's
so,
encouraging.
yeah, it is.
Yeah, the only thing I'd add to that is that actually it would be through the CPC, because we'd be looking at affordable housing, that they would be able to come up with the funding, so that's really the avenue to do, but to put that on so it goes to town meeting
Okay.
for this year.
So we would need to have somebody draft that up as a,
We need to have a meeting with the housing authority and start to discuss that. But right now, I think the key thing is what is the vision that you're looking to do? I'm not sure what master plan that was quoted out of.
this year.
That's our new master plan.
That's the new one.
Yeah, the new one, yeah. I got
So
it.
it may be that the redevelopment authority wants to have a strategy session as to what it is that you guys want to do when you grow up, hypothetically.
Okay.
And then, with that, what is within the jurisdiction of a redevelopment authority versus what's in the jurisdiction of a housing authority? Where can you work with the housing authority for certain things? Or you create another housing entity like you're talking about. So there's a whole bunch of different options that are out there.
You don't mean create another entity like the local, we're already established, the local housing partnership, unlike the housing authority, which always seems to take care of the senior park in that area. I don't know their regional law.
Sure, so they're not restricted to that. They can do anything within the town boundaries.
Well,
So that's why I mentioned that, whether it's them, whether it's the housing partnership, whether it's another different housing group, is that what is the objective you're trying to accomplish? And then figure out who the right partners are to do that.
Well, I printed my mission statement coming from the partnership. The last time we met, it was 2014, but reality was we met in October when Marlene came in, and it was like, that was the last meeting. But it says here in the mission statement, in 2008, the Board of Selectmen established the Carver Local Housing Partnership as a permanent committee responsible for overseeing affordable housing issues in Carver. The Housing Partnership has been designated as the municipal entity responsible for coordinating the implementation of the housing plan, and this implementation plan represents a critical step forward in this endeavor on the part of the partnership. I already asked Stephen, and he so graciously gave me the master plan as well, a copy of the master plan, but I asked him for the housing plan, which is what this talks about. So I also have that too. So I've kind of gotten started.
Good.
This is for everybody, so you know our mission. So I'd like to get it going, and I probably would ask Stephen if he could give me some advice. I want to be on the right track, not the wrong track. These are all the offices on our local housing partnership. I've talked to them all. The only person I couldn't find was Steve McCormick. I don't know if he's moved out of town.
I know him, I can check with him.
You did?
I know him.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Oh, good. So, everybody's willing, and I just want to make sure that we go off on the right foot, and I was thinking of the redevelopment as well.
So Joanna, so all these positions have expired because their term has ended, so they have to get reappointed?
No, we were appointed, we weren't elected.
But you're appointed for a term. Is it a one-year term?
I don't know, to be honest with you, it was continual with Jack Hunter. That was never brought up.
I only say that because there's an annual appointments for different people and
Right,
committees.
that was never brought up, we were just appointed, and that was,
So when Jack left, it may not have been reappointed, so we just gotta
I'm
check
not
that
sure.
piece too.
We were with Jack from 2008 right up to October of 2014 when he resigned. No mention was given, and we were just told, the new town planner had told us that that wasn't gonna happen anymore. That was not something that she was gonna oversee. So we just never met after that.
So let me take a look to see when the last appointments were, because that's the first step, is that there needs to be the creation, even though the housing partnership exists, since 2014, it mostly would have been with 3-year appointments, so basically no one's on the committee anymore. So we have to go back and reappoint people to it, and then have you get started from that.
I don't, to be honest with you, I'm not challenging you, but I don't know where that's written. It was never brought up to us. The rationale of why we didn't continue to meet is because
All committees are.
the town planner didn't want, well, maybe it was a silent by Jack Hunter, I have no idea.
Yeah, no, what I'm just saying is all committees have a term. Every committee member has a term. Whether you're appointed or elected, there's a term. That's what we just want to just clarify. And then
Okay.
to fix it, that's all.
Okay.
Whatever it takes just to fix it.
So let me continue to ask you, if you will, Mr. Chairman, through you. Your idea of helping us by wherever the money can come from, to help us to get started. Obviously, we would need somebody to work with us, like a consultant. Do you find that that's feasible?
Again, I think that there would need to be a partnership with this and the CPC, because they're the ones that have funding available, funding we talked about. And only they can recommend that funding be spent, and then they have to bring it to town meeting.
Okay,
So this is the right time to go through that process, but there is a process.
okay.
And then that's where I think, as you start to look at what, I'm just trying to find out, if I can find on our bylaws right now to see when this was adopted, to see where the appointees are.
2008.
No, but it's from the appointment standpoint. So
Oh,
from the redevelopment authority standpoint, it sounds like this housing partnership is gonna be separate and distinct from the housing authority, from the redevelopment authority.
Yes.
But it sounds like you still wanna create a 5-year plan for the redevelopment authority.
right.
So that needs to be done, it sounds like is probably the next step.
Well, just so that way I can, this isn't that far from what we've done in the past. We've worked with the Community Development Block Grant Program that
Right.
we were very successful with, and they've reached out to us when they needed more funds
Right,
to complete some of the projects.
right.
We were able to authorize that to us.
That's how I was looking at it, because if you remember on the local housing partnership, the redevelopment did come up with $900
Yep.
when that block grant that you're making mention needed a new roof.
Yep.
And we were successful, and it was just something that I said, we should do more of that,
So,
Okay.
just looking, June 15, 2015 was the meeting minutes here, where you guys reorganized. Just an FYI. June 15th, 2015,
We did.
that's what it says here.
You're,
That was your local housing
That's
partnership.
the local housing partnership. In 2015, you reorganized.
What,
Okay.
new chairman?
Yes,
So that was your last meeting, 2015?
somewhere around there. I'm just,
2015 June?
that's what it says, June 15, 2000,
What site are
15.
you on?
the carver.org,
Okay.
carverma.gov,
Okay, so you looked up this,
local housing
for the
partnership.
Local Housing Partnership,
Yes.
okay.
Motion by Joanna Layton, seconded by Mr. Merritt. Mr. Mackey and Mr. Swain were unanimously approved as chairman and vice chairman, respectively. So-
Okay. So we did that every year anyway. We did do that.
But I'm just looking at the date, June 2015.
Yeah, I
so
thought it was,
It was 3 years, if it's
yeah.
a 3-year
I
appointment.
thought it was June.
All right.
Okay.
Can, we still on other projects?
Yeah.
Are you all
We're
set?
definitely on another project.
Okay.
Thank you, Joanna.
I'm fine.
Actually, I was driving down my street today and come out of Gate Street, going off of Plymouth there. The old Plymouth Street used to come straight across into Gate Street bad intersection right there. All right, and then they turn around, curved it over. There's that, they curved Plymouth Street to come in, where that big puddle comes in and.
Oh, yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
so the big puddle of the Green Church, whatever. But that little property right in that corner area there.
That belongs to the church. I'm a Catholic, and the Catholic people, the Catholic Church bought that property. and
Across
they-
the street?
Yeah, for parking.
No, not that section. I'm talking about the other one.
Oh, where they put signs and
So,
everything.
yeah, where
The town
road-
mows that.
The
town
road
mows
goes
it.
like that. This is Plymouth Street.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, and I'm just shooting from the hip here now.
Yeah, yeah,
All right,
yeah.
this is Gate. All right, the road used to go this way, like that.
Yeah.
But you'd have this whole area here. There's telephone boxes here.
Yeah.
There's other area here that possibly could have a house. Just saying.
That belongs to the town.
That's what I said. I don't know. I haven't researched it yet, but. I was
They
thinking
mow
about
it.
other- Yeah,
They
they
mow
do.
it. They
do
mow it.
But was that, just that is another option look for different places for,
Yeah, the other
Possible.
side the church owns.
yeah. And the other thing is, for the, going back to the urban renewal plan, the DIER, all right, the draft
Yep.
here, kind of frustrated about that we didn't get it in time to put comments in and to read the whole thing, because it was 200 and something pages long and me going through it, and then there was 900 and something alternate subsequent pages of it, a lot, and,
Excuse me, he sounded like, when we were talking on site, it sounded like they were still working on it. Like,
okay,
as far as
so,
comments.
so this has been submitted to the state
Yep.
already. And me going through this, just the limited amount of time that I could go through it, I have some questions about some of the plans that were drawn up that were never brought to us first, to say, okay, fine, this is where the roadways are gonna come out.
From my understanding on this, and I'm no expert, all conceptual. The only stuff that the draft environmental impact study, those are when they're getting technical stuff on what might maximize out of the site. Might. Nothing's, if you had a road that went this way, just because it might have been submitted for that, so they could look at that, it might not never go there.
Because they put in a couple of different options for the roadways or whatnot in it.
Probably for traffic impacts and.
Well, right, but that goes to my sense of a traffic, is that the amount of vehicle traffic going in there.
I saw your comments on Facebook.
Yeah, I mean, that really, I have some.
You can't assume anything.
Well, I know that, I'm just
But
saying that.
you made
what this-
assumptions.
Well, if this goes to fruition of where it's at, all right,
Will there be traffic?
Yeah.
Yes.
and then the whole lights for different areas and everything, of where
And
it's gonna
that's
be.
part of
and-
their, why they're doing this. It's part of the steps through their MEPA process that they have to do, Bob.
No, I understand that, but what I'm saying is that I wish we had a chance to go through some of this stuff and know,
Okay.
to say, okay, fine, this is where we're at, this is where they're at, this is what they're going for, because if they come to us and say, hey, we need your help for this, this, and this, that we understand where we're at.
That's the whole point.
So-
We're only elected to this position. I'm an electrician. You're work at the hospital,
Yeah.
so I don't know
I'm a
what your
bloodsucker.
expertise is. There you go.
There you go.
So as we go through that part, that's why they are the preferred developer. That's why they are spending big money on experts, which are required through the MEPA process to have what they think they might be able to develop on that site, what the impacts would be that way. So one of the comments that was made by the engineer was that, an example, they looked at traffic impacts all the way down to Meadow Street.
Right.
Regionally, they looked at Route 44 in Middleborough, regionally, because they're saying that they might build a blank square. Well, now the state wants to know why, and what of those impacts. And each individual agency, from what I read out of it, wanted very specific to that point, which basically said that they had to prove with experts if there was a 1.2 million square foot facility there, what the impacts would be, even all the way to green impacts, to green atmosphere impacts and stuff like that. There's a lot of information there. I didn't read it all.
Mr. Chairman, if I
Yes.
could, just to provide some clarity to this, but before I do that, the housing trust, I just looked at 2-year terms, and they're appointed by the selectmen, so everybody has expired on that, but we can fix that. Bob, I think it's important to recognize that the draft environmental impact report and the final environmental impact report is not something that the town or the redevelopment authority or the planning board approves. There's no approval that's required locally for this. This is a standalone state process that, as the chairman was mentioning, is they have to describe what the impacts are of their development, they have to look at different scenarios, and they have to propose mitigation for those impacts. That's their job to do under state requirements. So they first do a draft. You had notice, just like any other citizen, when it goes out, you can find when it's posted, it's put into the environmental monitor, and there's so many days that the public has a chance to review it, whether it's 1,000 pages long, 50 pages long, or 5,000 pages long. That's what they do it on a standard basis statewide. And then when that happens, then you as an individual, or the board as a whole, can write comments into what you think of the thing. Whether you choose to or not, you're under no obligation to do it, nor are you under any obligation to approve what is written there. This is just the developer saying what they would like to do with the property, what their impacts are gonna be, and how they go about mitigating them. Whether you like what they're doing or not is not really up to, the process right now. It's really to look at the technical aspects of it.
That being said, I would have liked to have gotten it sooner, to take a look at it and get a full understanding of everything in it, all right, for me. But I did see in there were other meetings within the town here that were held in this with the developer or anything. I think that we should be informed of these meetings that are going on with other parts of the town, whether it be police, fire, public safety, DPW, things like that, because those meetings went on and we were never notified of those meetings. And we're supposed to be overseeing what's going on, at least one of us maybe even be possibly at those meetings that are being talked about at a whole, so we have somebody knowing what's going on and that we can draw on. We have a meeting like this and say, hey, yeah, we had a meeting with the public safety officials here. We discussed this and this and this to go with the draft.
Okay,
Just the thought process to say, hey, listen, we should be informed of what's going on.
all right. Just want to write a note.
Who would, Mr. Chairman, who taking up where Bob left talking about it? I'm sure we won't get a seat at the table for any of those meetings. Yes, it's a good idea to start bringing people, because I was saying to myself, 2 permits already given by the planning board, because when Marilyn, we were having our meetings with about this, you came to, I'm sure, all of them. Marilyn was very point to us. Guys, you gotta keep your eyes open. And when planning board starts to have their meetings, et cetera, you really need to know what's going on. Because if you're objecting, that's the time that you need to object. So
Clarification, those
Okay.
planning board meetings and those planning board permits were posted, there were public meetings, there was comments done during those
were.
meetings, and
I'm not
They were
saying that
awarded
anything is not,
I just want to be clear.
legitimate, it's just
Want to be
that
clear that there
it's
was
probably,
plenty of options for
like Bob, you
people
have the
to
most
comment.
interest, you're probably going to all these meetings. If I was to make an appointment and I'd say, I'm gonna appoint Bob Belbin because from.
That won't happen
I'm
in this
saying
town.
For the redevelopment, because I'm not looking at a seat at the table, I'm not looking for that, but I'm looking for somebody to let us know what's going on, and so we can, like you say, bring it back to the committee and so forth. You know, Mr. Chairman, when the man was talking, I don't know which one he was, but it came to me, and I understood that the comments were still available to be made, that nothing was final yet.
No, the comment period for this
Yeah,
actually expired, and then they opened it up again, I think till the 7th of this month. It was opened again for it. I made comments on it. I couldn't give all the comments because I couldn't go through the whole thing. And that was my only issue with that. But no matter what, I did it as myself, not as the board. I made it perfectly clear as Robert Belbin, although I am a Redevelopment Authority member, this is about me saying this as an individual. So, I just want to let you guys know that that's where I was at, and
Good.
I just, when I started reading that there were meetings here with other town officials here about this plan, that maybe we should have been at the table, at least listening, not necessarily being interactive in it, but at least listening, know what's going on and what's being discussed and how it's being discussed and whatnot.
well, your point's well taken.
So, but that's it, I'm done.
Okay.
Is there an opportunity at some point in this process to have some kind of input, like to tweak things that are more on a local level, that we might know about, that a consulting firm may not?
If I understand correctly from the MIPA process, after they get through the MIPA process, they come in front of the town for any local permits and stuff. You'll have conservation, you'll have planning board, you'll have all the same processes that they'll have to go through for permitting.
Okay.
So
The
they'll-
best way to describe this is a 20,000-foot view
Right.
of the project.
I looked at it.
There's no engineered plans from the standpoint of where things are gonna be on the ground, or drainage calculations
Right.
from where the road's gonna be. That all takes place either at the planning board, the conservation commission. That's where those details will be done at that level. And that's when they'll come back after. So
Okay.
what goes through this, again, is just broad brush, what the overall impacts are, and then they come back and do the detail in the future. And that's when you know, as any public resident, you can go into any of those meetings and have discussions with the developer and how they're doing things.
This is really just for them to show the state that they've done their homework.
Yeah, and it's just, you know, here's this big project, and what are the impacts gonna be, and how are we gonna solve those impacts? And, you know, whether that's, we're gonna have X number of vehicle trips per day, so we're gonna have to put in a traffic signal. That's what they're saying, we're gonna put in a traffic signal, and it's gonna be here.
Yeah.
How
Yeah.
it's gonna be striped, and the wiring, and the timing of the things, that'll all take place in the planning board's, you know,
Right.
purview at that point. Or from a wetland standpoint, okay, we're gonna have to
Right.
fill in wetlands, or no, we're not, okay? Or if we are, it's only gonna be 2,000 square feet.
Right.
It's not gonna trigger the 5,000, and here's approximately where they're gonna be, but we'll discuss that with the Conservation Commission when we get there.
Right.
But we're letting everybody know it's gonna be 2,000 feet, and again, I'm just
Mhm.
making that number up.
Yep.
So there's that whole level of detail that comes when it goes into future
Okay.
boards and committees that have the authority to review that.
Right. But this is their blueprint going in.
It's their master plan.
Got it.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay. Other projects. You guys all set? Okay, treasurer's report, bills payable, Joanna.
Okay, well, Deb went all the way back. She went all the way back. The more current one, let's just do August, September, because that encompasses everything, all the months that we have. And at the very bottom one, I had to write to Susan Hannon. That's you? So we were missing a check and I needed to be more conclusive. So Deb Deneen got on the phone and talked with Sue and she cashed the check. So the balance as of September to this day for the checking account is $829.19. The savings account is $25,154.36. The interest paid to date was $44.45. the urban renewal plan had, we haven't really paid too much out, was comprehensive environment, the last bill we paid to them. I don't know who those people were, something to do with the water, I guess. But anyway, the bottom line is $3,014.87. And the interest to date, I think it's like, oh my God, it got cut off.
It's on the back.
And it's on the back,
Next
on the next page, 70 cents.
Oh, God, okay, there we go. 70 cents, you're right. That's it.
Okay,
Do you want to do a motion for July,
yes.
August, and September as one?
Yep.
Thank you. I'll make a motion, we approve July, August, and September's treasurer's report as presented.
Okay.
Do I have a second?
I will second that.
Motion made and second to approve the treasurer's report from July, August, and September 2018. Any other questions or concerns? Hearing none. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, unanimous. Thank you, Miss Joanna. Let's see, minutes of May 29, 2018.
Okay. I think that was me challenging. Sharon, was that you?
Yeah, I made the correction.
Okay, I wanted to make sure that Stephen's name was spelled correctly, number one. Number two, there was a statement that was made by town administrator, and Sharon went back and I'm sure she reviewed everything and
Oh my God, I can't listen to that tape again.
I watch it too. But anyway, the town administrator, and she applied the word suggests, which I thought it was okay. That the role of the RDA is not to just administer what properties the town committee assigns to the RDA, and that the RDA has a broad scope within the town under several different auspices, such as the master plan, projects that may come out of the master plan, and other projects that the RDA would take the lead, et cetera, et cetera.
What's the pleasure?
I move, if my challenge is okay.
So to approve as amended?
Yes, I would like to approve the
So I have a
amendment.
second.
I'll second.
Motion made and second to approve the minutes of May 29, 2018, as amended. Any other discussion or concerns? Hearing none. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
They are approved. All right, we are looking for June 19th. What's the pleasure?
I have a couple of adjustments.
Okay,
On the first page and the second page, just formality. It says approved 4-1. I just want my name saying that I opposed it, put in.
Where are you?
oh yeah, that's right.
Page one.
Page
On
one
page one,
and
the social
two.
media conduct and
And
the
two.
code of conduct,
Okay,
just that,
Some boards like that, some boards don't. So you want your name on there?
if I could, please. Otherwise, I read.
yeah, who's that one person?
That's right. Yeah, that's right. I want credit.
Okay,
Is that it?
Yeah, that's it for me.
Okay.
I
Is
didn't
there a
have,
motion?
I'll make a motion, we approve the minutes with the one change there.
Do I have a second?
second,
I'll second. That was my
Motion made
thought.
and seconded to approve the minutes of June 19th, 2018, as amended. Any other discussion? Hearing none. All in favor say aye.
aye.
Aye, thank you. July 17th, 2018. What is the pleasure of the board?
Pat, don't pass the treasurer's report.
I'll make a motion, we approve it as written.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Motion made and second to approve the July 17th, 2018 minutes as written. Any other discussion or concerns?
Just to put it out there that I know was mentioned at the beginning is that having these emailed to us before the meeting.
Yeah,
I mean, it makes
Yeah.
this go a lot quicker, because
Yeah.
you can read
Sure
it
does.
as we
Right.
go through.
Yep.
So just for the people there, know that we are reading these at home.
Yeah.
when
yes,
get
we
here.
are, we are. Can't you
And,
see all my marks?
There you go, so.
Yeah, I read them at 4 o'clock today, so they were fresh in my mind, yeah.
So, thank you very much.
Yeah.
That's Miss Deb Deneen for you, so. Any other concerns?
No,
Motion made and second to approve the July 17, 2018 minutes as submitted. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, thank you, unanimous. Next meeting date. Let's see, calendar on here. We're on 18th.
see how quickly your minutes go.
9th, 16th.
23rd. The 9th is the day after Columbus Day, so
Oh, yeah, we don't wanna do that one.
we may wanna, I don't know.
That's early this year, isn't it?
Oh, it's the second Monday,
Oh, okay.
second Monday in the month. It's the earliest it'll ever be, but it's not unusual.
Okay.
Want to do the 16th? We don't have planning board that day, do we?
I have zoning at 7.
You have zoning at 7?
We have the 23rd and the 9th.
Zoning the
Board of
23rd.
Health at 5.
So 6 o'clock again on the 16th? I can do that.
Works for me.
I mean, the 16th works for me, because I can just leave first.
Okay.
16th, she say?
Mm-hmm.
She's okay, too?
Well, I have zoning, but that's not till 7.
Anybody want to make said motion?
I'll make a motion that we schedule our next meeting of the RDA for Tuesday, October 16th, at 6 o'clock PM.
I have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
Motion made and seconded to schedule our next meeting for October 16th at 6 PM. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Take a motion to approve, to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn, do I have a second?
I'll second that.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you, everybody. We are adjourned
Okay.
at 6:57.
Okay.